The 1960 no-mint mark Jefferson Nickel, struck at the Philadelphia Mint, stands out as one of those coins that many people might overlook in their pocket change, yet carries a depth of history and numismatic importance that makes it extremely desirable when found in the right condition. To appreciate why this coin commands attention and why some examples have reached a market value of up to $900, one must take a closer look at the story behind its creation, the legacy of the Jefferson Nickel series, the specifics of the 1960 issue, and the factors that make certain specimens so valuable today. The Jefferson Nickel series began in 1938, designed by German-American sculptor Felix Schlag, who won a public design competition with his classical and dignified depiction of the third president of the United States, Thomas Jefferson. The obverse of the coin features Jefferson's left-facing profile with inscriptions reading, "In God We Trust" on the left, "Liberty," and the date to the right, and on Philadelphia issues of this era, no mint mark appears beneath the date. The reverse displays Jefferson's beloved home, Monticello, with the inscriptions E pluribus unum, Monticello, 5 cents, and United States of America. This design endured for decades, becoming one of the most recognizable pieces of American coinage, and by 1960 it had already been circulating for more than 2 decades, holding a special place in the everyday lives of Americans. Unlike the Denver issues of the same year, which bear the D mint mark to the right of Monticello, the Philadelphia Mint coins carry no mark, making them immediately identifiable to collectors as the no mint mark variety. During this period, Philadelphia was still the primary mint, producing massive quantities of circulating coinage, and the 1960 nickel was no exception, with millions of coins struck to meet the needs of a rapidly expanding economy. The early 1960s were a time of great change in America, marked by prosperity, cultural shifts, and the transition into a new decade defined by political milestones like the election of John F. Kennedy. Every coin from this era reflects not only a monetary role, but also a cultural and historical backdrop, giving it significance beyond its face value. While it is true that many millions of 1960 no-mint mark Jefferson Nickels were minted, what elevates certain examples to high values is not sheer rarity in mintage, but rather rarity in condition, strike quality, and preservation. Coins struck. At Philadelphia, in this period, were often weakly struck, meaning that the finer details, particularly the steps on Monticello, did not always come through sharply on the coin's surface. Because of this, finding coins with the coveted full steps designation, where all the steps leading up to Monticello are fully visible and unbroken, is especially difficult. Collectors place a premium on full steps nickels, and for the 1960 no-mint mark issue, these can be extremely rare in high grades. When combined with gem uncirculated preservation, a sharp strike, and original luster, these nickels become highly prized and can command prices of up to $900 in the numismatic market. Certification by professional grading services, such as NGC, Numismatic Guarantee Company, or PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, adds even more assurance as it verifies both authenticity and quality, giving collectors confidence when paying premium prices. Beyond condition rarity, the 1960 no-mint mark nickel has an additional layer of intrigue because of era varieties and striking anomalies. During this era, repunched dates, doubled dies, and die cracks were not uncommon, and collectors actively seek out such varieties. A doubled die obverse or a repunched date on a 1960 nickel can significantly increase its desirability and price, sometimes well beyond the $900 mark, depending on the clarity and grade of the error. Even off-center strikes or clipped planchets from this year can attract serious bidding from error specialists. This element of variety collecting ensures that the 1960 no-mint mark Jefferson Nickel has multiple avenues of appeal, whether to mainstream collectors, condition rarity hunters, or error enthusiasts. Another reason this coin carries such weight in numismatics is its place in the broader Jefferson Nickel series, which remains one of the most enduring and widely collected series in U.S. coinage. While the Lincoln cent often overshadows it in popularity, the Jefferson nickel has carved its own following, especially among those who enjoy the challenge of assembling a complete set with full steps. The difficulty of acquiring high-grade, full-step nickels from the 1950s and 1960s makes coins like the 1960 no-mint mark issue both elusive and rewarding to pursue. For new collectors, circulated examples are still accessible and affordable, offering an entry point into numismatics. But for advanced collectors, the chase for a superb gem-uncirculated coin can span years. This dual appeal, affordable for beginners yet challenging at the highest level, is part of what makes the series and the 1960 no-mint mark nickel in particular so fascinating. From a historical perspective, the Jefferson nickel also connects collectors to the legacy of Jefferson himself, a founding father whose ideals of liberty, democracy, and education continue to resonate today. Monticello on the reverse is not just an architectural rendering, but a symbol of Jefferson's vision and contributions to America's identity. Holding a 1960 Jefferson nickel is thus not just holding 5 cents worth of metal, it is holding a piece of history, linking the everyday economic exchanges of 1960 America with the broader story of the nation. The composition of the coin also reflects the economic realities of its time, as nickels of this period were composed of 75% copper and 25% nickel, a durable alloy that withstood circulation. The metal itself has intrinsic value, though its true worth lies in its rarity and collector demand rather than bullion content. Eye appeal plays a tremendous role in the valuation of these coins. Brilliant luster, clean surfaces, sharp strikes, and attractive toning can all elevate a coin's market desirability. Collectors and investors alike are willing to pay premiums for coins that are not only rare but also visually stunning. Some examples of the 1960 no-mint mark Jefferson nickel have developed natural rainbow toning or deep golden hues over decades of storage, making them stand out even further and commanding even higher prices at auction. Today's coin market is increasingly competitive, with demand coming not just from the U.S., but from international buyers as well, as numismatics has grown into a global hobby and investment field. The fact that a 1960 nickel, something many might think of as common, can be worth as much as $900 in pristine form demonstrates how critical knowledge, grading, and attention to detail are in coin collecting. It also highlights the thrill of discovery, as such coins can still occasionally be found in old rolls, inherited collections, or tucked away in jars, waiting to surprise someone with their hidden value. This possibility fuels the passion of collectors who know that everyday coins sometimes conceal extraordinary treasures. In the grand scheme of things, the 1960 no-mint mark Jefferson nickel represents a perfect balance between history, artistry, and financial potential. It tells the story of a time when America was transitioning into a new era, carries the image of one of the nation's most important leaders, challenges collectors with its rarity and top condition, and rewards those who recognize its worth with significant market value. At $900 for the finest known examples, it is not just a nickel, but a symbol of the enduring legacy of American coinage, where even the smallest denominations can become major players in the numismatic world. Collectors who own one take pride in knowing they possess a coin that reflects both the everyday life of 1960 America and the extraordinary world of numismatic achievement, while those still searching remain motivated by the possibility of uncovering a true gem among common change. Ultimately, the 1960 no-mint mark Jefferson nickel reminds us that in numismatics, patience, knowledge, and passion can transform an ordinary piece of currency into a treasure worth hundreds of dollars, and perhaps even more in the years to come as appreciation for these coins continues to grow. Next up, the 1978 no-mint mark. Jefferson Nickel, struck at the Philadelphia Mint, is a fascinating piece of American coinage that at first glance may appear to be just another common 5-cent piece, yet in reality it carries a story of historical continuity, numismatic intrigue, and collector demand that transforms it from ordinary pocket change into a valuable treasure worth as much as $100 in top condition. To understand why this coin holds such value, it is important to explore its background, the Jefferson Nickel series as a whole, the specific circumstances of its mintage, and the factors that elevate certain examples into the realm of rare collectibles. The Jefferson Nickel series began in 1938 when it replaced the beloved Buffalo nickel with a design created by Felix Schlag, a German-American sculptor who submitted the winning entry in a public competition held by the U.S. Mint. Schlag's design placed a left-facing portrait of President Thomas Jefferson on the obverse, accompanied by inscriptions, "In God We Trust" on the left, "Liberty" with a star, and the date to the right, while the reverse featured Jefferson's Virginia estate, Monticello, with the inscriptions "A pluribus unum," Monticello, 5 cents, and United States of America. This design became a staple of U.S. coinage for decades, and by 1978, it was still being struck, symbolizing Jefferson's lasting influence and the Mint's desire to preserve a familiar design that had already become iconic. The Philadelphia Mint, which struck the 1978 no mint mark issue, was known at the time for not using a mint mark on its coinage, meaning that these nickels lack the D for Denver or S for San Francisco that appear on other mint-produced coins. Millions of 1978 Jefferson Nickels were minted in Philadelphia to meet the demands of circulation during a period of economic change in the United States. But despite this high mintage, most entered circulation immediately, where they suffered from wear, scratches, and handling that diminished their long-term value. The rarity of the 1978 no-mint mark Jefferson Nickel lies not in how many were minted, but in how few have survived in pristine condition, with sharp strikes, full details, and gem uncirculated preservation. Coins from this era were often struck, with weaker details, particularly on the reverse where Monticello's steps are located, making the full steps designation a crucial marker of quality for collectors. Full steps nickels are those that show complete and uninterrupted steps at the base of Monticello, a feature that is extremely difficult to find on coins from the 1970s due to strike weakness and die wear. Collectors and grading companies such as PCGS and NGC recognize the full steps designation as a mark of rarity, and for the 1978 no mint mark Jefferson Nickel, this makes all the difference in value. A circulated 1978 nickel may still only be worth face value, but a coin in gem uncirculated condition with full steps can command as much as $1,100 in today's numismatic market. This premium exists because the combination of grade, strike, and eye appeal is exceptionally rare, and collectors competing to build complete Jefferson Nickel sets are willing to pay top dollar for these elusive examples. The importance of third-party certification cannot be overstated, as collectors rely on PCGS and NGC to verify authenticity, grade accuracy, and strike designations like full steps. Owning a certified high-grade 1978 no mint mark Jefferson Nickel provides not only peace of mind but also significantly increases its liquidity and market demand. Beyond strike and condition, the 1978 issue also has potential interest for error coin collectors, as minting errors such as off-center strikes, clipped planchets, die cracks, and even double dies are possible on coins of this period. While such errors are not common, when they do appear on a 1978 no mint mark nickel, they add another layer of desirability and can push values far beyond even the $100 benchmark, depending on rarity and collector interest. The broader appeal of the Jefferson Nickel series also contributes to the market demand for this coin. While the Lincoln cent tends to dominate U.S. coin collecting in terms of sheer popularity, Jefferson Nickels have built a strong and loyal following, especially among those who appreciate the challenge of finding high-quality full steps examples. From difficult years like the 1970s, the 1978 no mint mark issue is particularly challenging, as Philadelphia strikes from this time often lack sharp details, meaning that any full steps gem is a true prize. This makes the coin both a collector's challenge and a collector's delight, because completing a set that includes this issue at the highest quality levels is no easy feat. From a historical perspective, the 1978 no-mint mark Jefferson Nickel also represents a fascinating snapshot of America in the late 1970s, a period marked by economic difficulties, rising inflation, and a nation adjusting to post-Vietnam War realities. Coins from this era were used heavily in everyday commerce, and few were saved in mint condition, making survivors all the more significant. Holding a pristine 1978 Jefferson nickel is like holding a piece of that history, preserved against all odds, carrying with it both the image of Jefferson and the architectural representation of Monticello. The coin's metal composition of 75% copper and 25% nickel was the standard for nickels of the time, a durable alloy that withstood circulation but offered little intrinsic bullion value, meaning that its true worth is tied directly to rarity, condition, and collector demand rather than metal content. Eye appeal plays a critical role in valuation as well, as coins with brilliant luster, attractive toning, and clean, mark-free surfaces always bring higher bids at auction. Some 1978 nickels, for example, have developed rainbow toning or deep, golden hues over decades of careful storage, and these qualities make them stand out from the rest, pushing their market values even higher. Collectors often compete fiercely for such standout coins, as they combine rarity with beauty, creating a perfect storm of desirability. Another dimension to consider is the future potential of coins like the 1978 no-mint mark Jefferson Nickel. As numismatics continues to grow as both a hobby and an investment arena, coins with limited surviving populations in top condition are expected to appreciate in value. The fact that a coin as seemingly common as a Jefferson nickel from 1978 can reach values of $2,100 demonstrates how nuanced and detail-driven the coin market truly is. It also shows the importance of education in numismatics, knowledge about full steps, grading scales, minting processes, and error varieties separates ordinary collectors from those who discover hidden gems in their collections. This element of discovery adds to the excitement, as 1978 no-mint mark nickels can still occasionally turn up in old coin rolls, inherited collections, or estate sales, providing collectors with the thrill of potentially uncovering a valuable treasure where none was expected. The Jefferson Nickel series embodies the spirit of accessibility and challenge, offering coins that can be found in circulation by beginners but also presenting nearly impossible challenges at the highest grades for advanced specialists. The 1978 no-mint mark nickel epitomizes this balance, being common in low grades but extremely rare and valuable in the finest conditions. Its market value of $1,100 today reflects not only its scarcity in gem uncirculated full steps condition, but also the broader respect it has earned among collectors as an essential part of completing a Jefferson nickel set. In conclusion, the 1978 no-mint mark Jefferson nickel is a coin that proves appearances can be deceiving. While it may look like an ordinary nickel to the untrained eye, its combination of historical significance, strike challenges, condition, rarity, and collector demand elevates it into a prized collectible worth as much as $100 in today's numismatic marketplace. It tells the story of late 20th century America, preserves the legacy of Thomas Jefferson and Monticello, challenges collectors with its scarcity in top condition, and rewards those who recognize its potential with significant financial and historical value. Whether viewed as a collectible, an investment, or a piece of history, the 1978 no-mint mark Jefferson Nickel is a perfect example of how even the smallest and most common coins can hold extraordinary value when examined through the lens of numismatics. Next up, the 1955 no-mint mark Jefferson Nickel, produced at the Philadelphia Mint, is a coin that many people might pass over as a common circulation piece. Yet for numismatists and serious collectors, it has grown into one of the most fascinating issues in the Jefferson Nickel series due to its combination of scarcity in high grades, strike difficulties, collector demand, and overall historical context, which all together make it a coin that can reach a market value of $1,300 when found. in gem condition with exceptional qualities such as full steps. To appreciate why this particular nickel holds such importance, one must understand the broader story of the Jefferson Nickel series, the economic and minting conditions of the 1950s, and the specific challenges faced by coins struck in 1955 at the Philadelphia facility. The Jefferson Nickel series began in 1938, replacing the Buffalo nickel, with a design created by Felix Schlag, who depicted a left-facing portrait of Thomas Jefferson on the obverse and Jefferson's Monticello home on the reverse, surrounded by inscriptions such as "In God We Trust," "Liberty," the date, "E pluribus unum," "Monticello," 5 cents, and "United States of America." Schlag's design became one of the most enduring in U.S. coinage, and by the 1950s it had already become familiar to Americans, circulating widely through a booming post-war economy. Yet despite the high mintage numbers of nickels from this decade, collectors soon realized that finding coins with sharp details, especially on Monticello's steps, was extraordinarily difficult. The Philadelphia Mint, which struck the 1955 issue, did not use a mint mark at the time, making the coin immediately identifiable as a no-mint mark example. In 1955, the Philadelphia Mint produced tens of millions of Jefferson Nickels, but the majority went directly into circulation, where they were subject to heavy wear, scratches, and other forms of damage that diminished their long-term collectible quality. This is why today, while circulated examples remain very common and worth little more than face value, coins that were saved at the time in pristine condition or discovered in original mint rolls and later certified by third-party grading services, like NGC and PCGS, are among the most desirable Jefferson Nickels of the decade. The challenge with the 1955 no-mint mark issue lies not in finding the coin itself, but in finding one with a sharp strike, clean surfaces, strong luster, and the all-important full steps designation. The full steps detail, which refers to the clarity and completeness of the steps at the base of Monticello on the reverse, is particularly rare for the 1955 Philadelphia issue, as weak strikes and worn dies were common during this period. Collectors, know that coins showing complete and uninterrupted full steps are significantly rarer and can dramatically increase the coin's market value. For the 1955 no-mint mark Jefferson Nickel, examples that have been certified in high gem grades with full steps have sold for thousands of dollars at auction, and today, a superb specimen can realistically reach $300 or more in the collector marketplace. This high valuation underscores just how scarce top-condition coins from this year truly are, as the combination of weak strikes, poor die maintenance, and the fact that few were saved in uncirculated rolls makes them exceptionally difficult to locate. Beyond condition rarity, the 1955 issue also has appeal because of its historical context. The year 1955 was a time of transition in America, with the country experiencing post-war prosperity, cultural shifts, and the early rumblings of the civil rights movement. Holding a 1955 nickel is not just holding 5 cents, it is holding a tangible artifact from a pivotal decade in U.S. history, connecting collectors to the everyday transactions of Americans during that period. The metal composition of the coin, 75% copper and 25% nickel, was standard for the series, making it durable but not intrinsically valuable in terms of bullion content. Instead, its real worth lies in the numismatic factors of rarity, condition, and demand. Another dimension of interest comes from the possibility of error coins and varieties in the 1955 no-mint mark Jefferson Nickel series. While not as famous as the 1955 doubled die Lincoln cent, which is one of the most iconic U.S. coins, Jefferson Nickels from this year can still exhibit repunched dates, die cracks, and other striking anomalies that appeal to specialists. Any such variety, when paired with high-grade and full steps, can push the coin's value even higher, making it a target for collectors who seek unique or unusual specimens. Eye appeal is another major factor in determining market value, as Coins with brilliant original luster, attractive toning, and blemish-free surfaces tend to draw premium bids at auction. Some 1955 nickels have developed stunning rainbow toning over decades of storage, further enhancing their appeal and separating them from ordinary examples. Collectors today are increasingly drawn to such visually distinctive coins, recognizing that they offer not only rarity, but also individuality. The role of third-party grading services such as PCGS and NGC is crucial in this regard, as their certifications provide both assurance and market credibility, especially when they assign the full steps designation. A certified 1955 Jefferson Nickel with no mint mark that carries the full steps label is a trophy coin, often pursued aggressively by serious collectors and registry-set participants who want to assemble the finest possible collections. In fact, registry competition has been a major driver in pushing up the value of high-grade Jefferson Nickels, as collectors compete for the top-ranked sets and are willing to pay significant premiums for condition rarities. The 1955 no mint mark nickel is one of the key dates in this pursuit, making it not just an ordinary coin but a competitive prize. While circulated examples remain readily available to casual collectors, the rarity of true gems ensures that demand always outpaces supply in the upper echelons of the hobby. From a broader perspective, the appeal of the Jefferson Nickel series lies in its accessibility for beginners and its difficulty for advanced specialists. While anyone can begin collecting Jefferson Nickels from circulation, those who attempt to complete a high-grade full-step set quickly discover just how challenging the series can be, particularly for mid-century issues like the 1955 no mint mark. This dual nature makes the series one of the most rewarding in American numismatics, and the 1955 issue serves as a perfect example of why. Common in low grades, yet rare and extremely valuable in top condition. As numismatics continues to grow, both in the United States and internationally, coins like the 1955 no mint mark Jefferson Nickel are expected to appreciate further in value, as their combination of rarity, history, and artistry continues to resonate with collectors worldwide. The fact that such a coin can be valued at $1,300 today is a testament to the strength of the hobby and the enduring demand for condition rarities. Collectors who own one of these prized specimens take pride in knowing they hold not just a 5-cent coin, but a piece of American history and a trophy of numismatic achievement. For those still searching, the challenge of finding a gem full steps example remains a driving force in their collecting journey, inspiring them to search through rolls, attend shows, and bid in auctions with the hope of securing this elusive treasure. In conclusion, the 1955 no mint mark Jefferson Nickel is far more than ordinary pocket change. It is a symbol of the challenges of coin collecting, the importance of condition rarity, and the enduring legacy of the Jefferson Nickel series. Its market value of $2,300 in top grades reflects not only its scarcity, but also the passion of the collectors who pursue it. Whether viewed through the lens of history, design, rarity, or financial worth, the 1955 no mint mark Jefferson Nickel represents the very essence of numismatics, transforming a small, everyday object into a treasured artifact of immense significance. Next up, the 1982 Jefferson Nickel with the P mint mark from the Philadelphia Mint is one of the most fascinating pieces in U.S. coinage history, not only for its historical significance, but also for its growing reputation among collectors who recognize its rarity and hidden value. At first glance, many people would dismiss this coin as just another ordinary nickel worth 5 cents. But for numismatists and seasoned collectors, the 1982 P. Jefferson Nickel has become a valuable collectible that can command an impressive market value of $2,500 in today's numismatic market. Understanding why this coin has reached such value requires a deep dive into its background, historical context, rarity, condition factors, collector demand, and the broader role it plays in the evolution of the Jefferson Nickel series. To begin, The Jefferson Nickel series itself was first introduced in 1938, replacing the Buffalo nickel, which had been in circulation since 1913. The new design featured a portrait of Thomas Jefferson on the obverse and his iconic home, Monticello, on the reverse. Sculpted by Felix Schlag, this design was intended to honor one of America's founding fathers while creating a fresh look for the nation's 5-cent coin. The Jefferson nickel remained mostly unchanged for decades, with only minor variations, mint mark adjustments, and occasional refinements in detail. By 1982, the nickel had already established itself as a familiar coin in circulation, but that year marked a significant turning point in U.S. coinage. It was one of the first years the P mint mark for Philadelphia appeared regularly on circulating coins, signaling a new era in the minting process. The 1982 P Jefferson Nickel is historically significant because the Philadelphia Mint had not always used a mint mark for its coins. For much of U.S. history, Philadelphia was considered the mother mint, and coins produced there carried no identifying mark. However, by 1980, the mint began using the P mint mark on nickels for the first time in circulation. This means the 1982 P nickel is among the earliest issues to carry this mark, making it historically notable and especially desirable for collectors who seek transitional coins and first-year varieties. Adding to its value is the condition factor. As with most coins, the grade and preservation of the 1982 P Jefferson Nickel play a critical role in determining its worth. In circulated condition, it might only be worth a few dollars, but when found in uncirculated or mint state condition, the value skyrockets. Collectors pay premiums for coins with sharp strikes, clean surfaces, full details in Jefferson's hair and Monticello's columns, and minimal signs of wear. High-grade examples certified by professional grading services such as NGC, Numismatic, Guarantee Company, or PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, can easily reach or exceed the $1,500 mark in auctions or private sales. Another important aspect that influences the 1982 P Jefferson Nickel's value is rarity and survival rate. While millions of nickels were minted that year, most entered circulation and endured years of wear and tear. Finding a coin that has survived more than 4 decades in pristine, untouched condition is exceedingly rare. This rarity, coupled with the coin's historical significance as an early P mint mark nickel, creates the perfect combination of scarcity and desirability that drives up its market price. Collectors are also drawn to the 1982 P Jefferson Nickel because of its place in the timeline of U.S. coinage evolution. The early 1980s were a period of change for American coins, with adjustments in minting practices, design refinements, and increased use of mint marks for identification. Coins from this period often hold extra appeal because they reflect a transition from old minting traditions to more modern practices. The 1982 P Jefferson Nickel serves as a reminder of this shift, symbolizing the moment when Philadelphia's production was no longer anonymous, but instead proudly marked with a P. The collector demand for Jefferson Nickels has grown steadily over the past few decades, and this has contributed to the rising value of coins like the 1982 P. Jefferson Nickels are among the most widely collected U.S. coins, in part because they are still affordable for beginners, but also because there are rare and valuable dates that challenge even advanced collectors. Completing a full Jefferson Nickel collection requires securing not just the common issues, but also the key dates, low-mintage years, mint mark varieties, and coins in top condition. The 1982 P nickel fits into this framework perfectly, as it represents a key transitional year and an early Philadelphia mint-marked coin. Auction results and recent sales have confirmed the coin's growing reputation. Examples of the 1982 P Jefferson Nickel in high mint state grades, MS66 and above, have sold for hundreds to thousands of dollars, depending on eye appeal, strike sharpness, and certification. Some coins with exceptional qualities, such as full steps designations, where the steps of Monticello are fully struck and visible, can command even higher premiums. The full steps variety is particularly sought after because it demonstrates a superior strike quality that is rare for this year, given the minting technology and dieware issues of the early 1980s. Furthermore, the $1,500 market value attached to the 1982 P. Jefferson Nickel is a reflection not just of rarity and condition, but also of historical collector psychology. Coins that represent firsts or significant turning points in minting history tend to gain higher values over time. Just as the 1942-1945 silver war nickels became popular because of their unique composition, the 1982 P nickel draws attention as one of the earliest to feature Philadelphia's mark. Collectors understand that while millions may exist, the number of investment-grade examples that survive in mint condition is limited. When discussing the future outlook for this coin, many numismatists believe that its value will continue to rise. With increased awareness among collectors, more demand for early mint-marked Jefferson Nickels, and the continuing tradition of coin grading by companies like NGC and PCGS, the 1982 P Jefferson Nickel has a strong potential for long-term appreciation. As with other collectible coins, its price is driven not just by the intrinsic factors of rarity and condition, but also by the emotional and historical connections that collectors form with these small pieces of history. In conclusion, the 1982 P. Jefferson Nickel is far more than just pocket change. It is a coin that encapsulates the evolution of U.S. minting practices, the introduction of Philadelphia's mint mark, and the enduring legacy of the Jefferson Nickel series. With a current market value of around $1,500 in high grades, it stands as a testament to how ordinary coins can transform into extraordinary collectibles. Its combination of historical significance, condition rarity, collector demand, and its role in numismatic history makes it one of the standout Jefferson Nickels of the modern era. For collectors who are lucky enough to own one, it represents not just a coin, but a valuable chapter in American coinage history, a tangible reminder that sometimes the most overlooked coins can turn out to be treasures worth far more than their face value. Next up, the 1963 no-mint mark Jefferson Nickel is one of those fascinating coins in American numismatics that has caught the attention of collectors, historians, and investors alike. On the surface, it may appear to be just another nickel from the Jefferson series that was widely produced for circulation in the mid-20th century. However, when examined more carefully, the story becomes much more interesting. This particular coin, when found in the right condition, can command a market value of around $1,700, making it far more than just pocket change. Understanding why such a coin is worth so much requires diving into its history, production details, rarity factors, collector demand, and the broader context of Jefferson Nickels in the numismatic world. To begin with, the Jefferson Nickel series was first introduced in 1938, replacing the Buffalo nickel, and it featured a new design by sculptor Felix Schlag. On the obverse, Schlag depicted Thomas Jefferson, the third president of the United States, facing left, with the word Liberty and the date prominently displayed. On the reverse, the central feature was Jefferson's home, Monticello, accompanied by the inscriptions E pluribus unum, United States of America, and 5 cents. By 1963, the Jefferson Nickel design had already been in use for 25 years, and while it was familiar to the public, it was still being struck in very large numbers at the Philadelphia Mint, which did not use a mint mark during this time. The no mint mark designation signifies that the coin was minted in Philadelphia. Despite its high mintage in 1963, not every coin from that year holds significant value. Most Jefferson Nickels from the early 1960s can be found in circulation, or dealer stock for only face value or slightly above. The difference comes when a coin is in pristine, uncirculated, or proof-like condition. Coins that have survived the decades without wear, scratches, or damage, especially those with strong strikes and sharp details, become highly desirable to collectors. A 1963 Jefferson nickel graded by professional services such as PCGS or NGC at a high level like MS-66 or MS-67 can easily fetch into the thousands of dollars at auction. That's where the $1,700 market value comes into play. It reflects the price range for coins that are in superb quality, not the common worn examples found in circulation. One reason collectors value the 1963 no-mint mark Jefferson Nickel so much is because of its role in bridging eras in U.S. coinage history. Just 2 years later, in 1965, the United States Mint would begin a period of change, reducing silver content in dimes and quarters due to rising metal costs, and experimenting with new alloys for coinage, while the nickel itself remained unchanged. In terms of metal composition, 75% copper and 25% nickel, it represents part of the last stretch of pre-changeover coinage that today feels like a snapshot of mid-20th century America. Coins from the early 1960s often carry a sense of nostalgia, connecting collectors not only with Jefferson and American history, but also with a time when coins were made with greater durability and striking quality compared to some later issues. Another factor that drives the coin's value is collector demand and registry competition. Within the numismatic community, there are thousands of Jefferson nickel collectors who build complete date and mint mark sets. Some go further by entering into registry sets, where collectors submit their coins for grading and compete to have the highest graded set possible. In these situations, even slight differences in quality make a huge difference in price. For instance, while a 1963 nickel in MS-65 might be worth under $100, one in MS-67 can exceed $1,700 because only a small handful of such coins exist in that condition. The scarcity of superbly preserved examples creates a supply and demand imbalance, which naturally drives prices upward. The coin's physical characteristics also add to its identity. The 1963 Jefferson Nickel weighs 5 grams, has a diameter of 21.2 millimeter, and features a plain edge. It is made from a copper-nickel alloy, which was standard for the series. While these traits may seem ordinary, they are essential in maintaining consistency across the Jefferson Nickel line, which is one of the longest-running coin series in U.S. history. For collectors, these small specifications matter greatly, as authenticity and precision are critical in determining whether a coin is genuine, altered, or damaged. Market trends also play a significant role in the 1963 no-mint mark. Jefferson Nickel's value. Coin values fluctuate depending on economic conditions, collector interest, and auction results. In recent years, the numismatic market has seen a surge of interest in coins from the 20th century, particularly those that can still be found in circulation but have rare high-grade survivors. Many collectors who grew up in the 1960s now have disposable income and wish to collect coins from their childhood. This generational connection fuels demand, pushing prices higher for iconic pieces like the 1963 Jefferson Nickel. Another fascinating aspect of Jefferson Nickels, including the 1963 issue, is the potential for varieties and minting errors, which can make certain coins even more valuable. Varieties like doubled dies, repunched mint marks, though not applicable to Philadelphia coins in 1963, or misaligned dies often attract significant premiums. While the base value of a pristine 1963 nickel might be $1,700, if one happens to be a rare error coin, the price could soar even higher. For this reason, collectors carefully examine each coin for anomalies, as these small differences can mean the difference between a $5 coin and a 5-figure coin. The historical and cultural value of the coin cannot be overlooked either. Thomas Jefferson himself is one of the most significant figures in American history. Author of the Declaration of Independence, founder of the University of Virginia, and a president who oversaw the Louisiana Purchase, which doubled the size of the United States. Having his image on a coin that circulated for decades reinforces his role in shaping America's identity. Collectors often see the Jefferson nickel not just as currency, but as a miniature monument to Jefferson's legacy. The 1963 nickel, therefore, represents more than money. It represents history, politics, and American ideals. Looking at the broader investment perspective, coins like the 1963 no-mint mark Jefferson Nickel also appeal to investors who see rare coins as a store of value. Unlike paper money, which can be affected by inflation, rare coins tend to appreciate over time, particularly those with documented rarity and strong demand. The fact that a simple 5-cent piece can achieve a market value of $1,700 demonstrates how numismatics turns ordinary objects into extraordinary assets. In conclusion, the 1963 no-mint mark Jefferson Nickel is far from just another coin. While millions were minted and circulated, only a select few have survived in the pristine condition that makes them worth thousands today. With a current market value of around $1,700, this coin highlights the importance of rarity, condition, historical context, and collector demand in shaping numismatic value. For some, it is a nostalgic reminder of the 1960s. For others, it is an investment opportunity. And for serious collectors, it is a crucial piece in completing one of the most beloved U.S. coin series. What makes it truly special is that it blends history, artistry, rarity, and value into one compact piece of metal, proving that even the most ordinary-seeming coins can hold extraordinary worth.